ladies. Okay, they're number one. They've been number one, most of the season. They are good. There's no denying that. The thing with South Carolina, of course, they came off that upset loss in the SEC tournament to Kentucky, which nobody saw coming, right? They're up the entire game, basically. So they're a number one seed. They get to play at home this weekend against a 16 on Friday. What are we looking at for the Gamecocks? What are you expecting to see this time around?
Well, certainly, I think there was some amongst the South Carolina fan base after losing to Kentucky, and oftentimes we paid too much attention to the team that lost and maybe how they lost, as opposed to giving the other team, giving the opponent credit. And when you look at Kentucky and how they played the last couple of weeks, I think they deserve a lot of credit. They also deserve to win that basketball game. I think what has been probably what was most concerning is the fact that South Carolina in those last two games of the SEC tournament probably shows some play that could come back to haunt them, not taking care of the basketball, probably, which is a little bit surprising when you think about the veteran guard play that they have with Henderson, Cook. They'll expect that type of mishandling of the basketball. But Kentucky played well enough to win. With that being said, I didn't panic. I'm not going to panic, because when you look at South Carolina's track record this year, they've beaten a lot of great teams, and they've done it with the same personnel. I don't see why they can't do it again. Now, will it take a renewed focus or a more intentional focus? Because you look at how teams are going to defend them, it's all going to be about stopping Aaliyah Boston. She's the straw that stirs the drink, and every team is going to pack the paint and make sure she's not able to impact the game fully. They're going to make other players shoot the basketball, specifically from the perimeter, which is why the key. I think if she can knock perimeter consistently, puts this basketball team in a much better situation. Defensively, South Carolina has become one of the best defensive teams in the country, also amongst the nation when it comes to blocking shots. Those shots, those turnovers and deflections that they've been able to benefit from, those things have allowed them to get out into space, get out into fast, and score in the open space. That hasn't been the case the last games. Got to get back to that. Got to step up and shoot that ball with confidence to protect the Aaliyah Boston. And I think if that happens, the goals that they place, which is not only competing for a national championship, Dawn Staley's made it clear their goal is to cut down the nets and win a national championship. So that is their goal, and that is still in front of them, even to Kentucky.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they always have that target on their back. When you're number one consistently, when you're consistently great, you're always going to get everybody's best. And Kentucky definitely gave them that during the tournament. Do you think that ever gets to those girls? You think they're young ladies. There's a lot of pressure being number one and maintaining that. And you have this expectation to be the best. How does that affect someone mentally?
Well, it certainly can affect them, but I credit Dawn Staley. She's built an unbelievable culture. She has an unbelievable following here in Columbia. People show up in droves to support them every game, certainly on the weekends. And we've seen what she's been able to do in terms of getting 15, 16, 17,000 fans to show up. And she's made Columbia into a destination. She's made Columbia a cool place to play basketball, not women's basketball, but just basketball. I think their success has spilled over beyond the lines of just women's basketball and women's sports. I know they made me a basketball fan. I'll be honest, I didn't watch a lot of women's basketball. Now I don't miss a game. I'm always in front of the television or at the arena watching them, and that is what she's done. But also, I think in creating that culture by recruiting and signing the best players in the country, there's competition every single day in practice. There's competition every single position. So there's not a lot of room to kind of feel yourself or become overconfident. because you know there's another player breathing down your neck. And when that happens, that forces players to a little bit quicker, a little bit faster, and to remain a bit hungry in vying for those minutes. So the culture, I think, supersedes any of the other that could potentially seep into that locker room.
That's a great point. And I love how you said Coach Staley has really blurred those lines in a way of taking men's basketball fans, bringing them over, just basketball fans in general, to get behind this team and pull in those numbers for those crowds there at Colonial Life Arena. I mean, it's truly incredible what she has done for the university and for that program, and it's so much fun to watch. Those girls are so good. You know, I think they could take on really anybody. What is it about this group specifically? What do you think makes them stand out to take this all the way and win that national title this year?
Well, first, they have the acumen. They've been there before, so there's a confidence that they exude with. There's a level of comfort that they exude with. They have embraced all of the pressures, all of the expectations and lofty goals, because their coach Don Staley hasn't shied away from it. She's made it known that our goal is to not only compete for a national championship, but our goal is to win the national championship. So there's a preparation for that every single day. So they understand that they're going to get everybody's best effort, but they're used to it. They're used to the big moments. They're used to responding and not wilting when it comes to the big moments. And, you know, that's a big part of that championship pedigree, because you're going to run against teams that are as talented, or even in some cases a little bit more talented, which I don't think there are a lot of teams out there more talented top to bottom than South Carolina right now. But just having that mojo, having that confidence, having that know-how certainly put them in a really good position when it comes to every opponent that they're going to face. But not only every opponent, but every offer the best effort to beat South Carolina. And they've withstood the test thus far. I don't see anything changing, even after losing against Kentucky. I think it's a renewed confidence and a renewed joy and excitement that this team is going to take into the NCAA tournament.
Mm-hmm. Building off of that loss, absolutely. They're just built different in general. Those Gamecocks down there in Columbia. Looking at the bracket, though, I want to get your opinion on this. The road that South Carolina has, do you see a team specifically who makes it through that could give them a tough time right now on their side of the bracket?
Well, honestly, I haven't gotten that deep into the bracket, but I know there's an opportunity that they could face Iowa, and that is a matchup that a lot of people are excited to see and wanting to see because of the potential showdown, the Player of the Year candidate, and that is something that's become local fodder. It's become local banter and national banter, as we've seen national commentators talk about the Player of the Year and who's more deserving. So that, you know, once you get to the third round, you're talking about any team being capable of beating Carolina or whoever. Ready to go. Losing against Kentucky, I think, gave them a renewed joy, a renewed. So I'm not betting against the Gamecocks at all.
Yeah, I don't think any of us should, because, yeah, they are ready to play. We're so pumped for tip-off on Friday, especially being at home. I mean, that is an exciting time for the Columbia area, just people in South Carolina, fans in general, being able to get there to Colonial Life Arena and cheer on the Gamecocks in person. So I know that brings a lot of people to town. What does that mean to the city of Columbia?
It's a ton. She's made the Colonial Life Arena a destination. She's made it into a great family outing that's become a terrific basketball atmosphere. I remember when she first started here, and she had to be really creative in getting, you know, fans out to the CLA. And not only has she done a really good job of doing that, but in the midst of getting fans out, they started winning. They started turning the program around. And now those fans that were part of it from the beginning, they're not called fans, they're called fams when it comes to being a part of their family. And it's like one big family that they all know each other, they support each other. And the other thing to say, and I don't think should be minimized, I've been in my entire life, excuse me, and played at the University of South Carolina. And the way she's been able to attract the most diverse crowd come to games, especially at the University of South Carolina, been nothing short of amazing. And that crowd, when you see the fans, you see different races, different genders, nationalities. You see is a direct result of the potential she's been and making sure she's been able to get fans out to her games.
I love that. The fans